Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Nice to have you here today. And I first want to wish you a happy Easter. Hopefully today will be a good day and the whole weekend for you to be with your family, some time for reflection. And I just I wish you the best in this next couple of days. Anyway, today we're going to be looking at still what the situation is, what would happen if the price were to fall through, and what would be good entry levels for the hodl portfolio, what would be target prices to keep in mind, and so on. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. It is completely free. We always give you relevant information like this. And let's go ahead and get started. So right now we are looking at the daily chart, and as you can see, we have our white resistance line, of course, up here at the beginning or at the start of the line it was support, but then quickly became resistance. Once we had a breakout, it was a fake out, as you can see, and right now we're struggling in this level here. If we zoom in a bit closer, we see that we find ourselves right now under the resistance line. Over here we were able to break through it, but as you can see, yesterday we had a fake out, or 2 days ago we had a fake out, and then yesterday we fell right through it again. And so right now we have a lot of resistance above us. Of course, most of it is coming now from our EMA lines. As you can see, all of them are above us at the moment. Over here we were able to finally, after a while, be above them and use them as support. But now, after we have this correction, you can see that all of them, the 100 EMA line, for example, on the daily is above us, the 50 EMA line, the 20, the 13, all of them again are above us. So this is very, very strong resistance. And if we manage to go upward from here, then the first resistance level we will find is at around $41,900, which would be then our 200 EMA line that comes into play. And while we are here on the daily chart, another thing we can have a look here is that we do have this ascending channel. As you can see, we are moving well within the range, the top and the bottom lines of this channel, and so long as we remain inside it, things should be fine. However, if we do break down in the price, then the chances that we go back down to $34,000 or even $33,000 they're there. So we do have to be very careful here. I don't think we're gonna see a huge drop, especially not in this weekend, because the markets are closed today, also in the US and in Europe. And then of course we do have the weekend, so the traditional markets are all closed. And then on Monday again, the traditional markets open in the US. So we could see throughout the weekend a little bit of a cool off period. And what I don't want to see either is either that the price goes up and there's a pump, or that the price falls down. Because if it falls down, for example, then there's a CME gap over the weekend that needs to be closed sooner or later. And then, we'll go back here and then continue falling, or vice versa. If there is a pump in the next couple of days, then again, we create a CME gap that has to be closed sooner or later. And that would be bad, because then, of course, the price will come back down to where we started. Now, another thing, of course, many of you might have the question, okay, what would be a good entry price or entry level for buying for the hodl portfolio? So what I would personally do, and this is not direct advice to anybody, but if this channel breaks down, then the first entry level for me would be down here at $34,000, and then the last one here, or the next one here, would be at $33,000, more or less. So those two will be my levels where I will come in and buy Bitcoin for my hodl portfolio. If this breaks even lower, then we might be building what is a dead cat bounce, and the price target for that would be around $22,000. I personally don't think that we would see something like that, and I'm going to tell you why soon in this video. But at the very last level that I would come in and buy would be here at around $29,000 would be sort of my bidder entry level for adding more assets to my crypto portfolio. So those are the levels that I would come in if the price were to fall. Now, how is it looking on the smaller time frames? So if we go to the 1 hour chart here, we also see a very bearish picture currently. One of the biggest ones is, of course, we were not able to get above our 200 or 100 EMA line. We did use it as support when we had this pump in the price here, as you can see, but immediately when we fell under it, it became resistance again, and the price plummeted from there. Another thing to keep in mind here is the possible formation of a head and shoulders pattern with a Bart Simpson head over here, which basically looks like the head of the character. And you can see that right where we started pumping in the price is exactly where we went back down. So we basically eliminated the gains there. And so here we could be also forming what could be the right shoulder of our head and shoulders pattern. And we are struggling, of course, with our 20 EMA line and our 13 EMA line over here. So this could be, the thing that makes or that rejects farther move towards the upside and then, recreates this head and shoulders pattern. The target price is all the way down here at around $37,600. I would say maybe, okay, we'll fall to $38,000 again, is what I would see, because not always, and these patterns, they usually don't really play out the way that they're supposed to. So here, we may not fall all the way down, we might fall over here and then consolidate and then continue moving upward from there. So, however, we do have to keep this pattern in mind and, just observe and see what happens. We can also draw this support line over here. It's not perfect, but it's something that, can help us decide what we can do. Now, I wanted to show you the BLX chart, and the reason for that is because, as I mentioned earlier, I don't really see the price of Bitcoin falling all the way down to $22,000. And the reason for that is because when we use this chart over here, let's come a little closer. This is, of course, the weekly chart for Bitcoin. And this indicator here shows us something very interesting. And that is that we have our 100 EMA line here for the weekly. And if what I just mentioned to you in the previous scenario with the smaller time frames, if we were to fall back to retest the support for this EMA line, the 100 EMA line, then the target price would be exactly $37,600, which also coincides with the white line of this indicator. So you see the 100 EMA line has always provided very, very good support. Even when we do pierce through it, we tend to recover way above it. Worst case scenario, we fall through it and we come down here to the very last support line of our indicator. And this line has only been sort of penetrated once since Bitcoin exists. And so, and that was with the Black Swan event here before the halving, when we had the Corona crash, where all the traditional markets didn't know, there were lockdowns all around the world, and there was a lot of uncertainty. And so that's what this is here. But as you can see, previous to that, it has always provided very stable support. Here in August of 2016, and previous to that also here in 2012 as well, 2013 the same. So this is very, very, very strong support, as you can see, for Bitcoin. And of course, this is one of the reasons then why I think this would be our last hope if the price were to continue falling from where we are currently. And of course, this bottom line here would be the level is $33,000. And now let's go over and have a look at Ethereum, where it's also very interesting because even though that Bitcoin, it has been dragging the price down here as well, we so far, or Ethereum has found support above the $3,000 price level. And that's, as you can see here so far, is a very strong support. But, you know, of course, we're still inside this downtrend, which we need to break out of. And then, you know, before we move into this area here, $3,400. And, you know, if of course Bitcoin continues to fall, then it will most likely bring Ethereum down with it as well. XRP is the only one that has outperformed in the last couple of days. You can see we had a massive pump yesterday in the price, and I can show you exactly why that is. Here in the news, we see that the CEO of Ripple was saying that the case against the SEC is going much better than he had hoped. And so when that piece of information was released, then there was this huge pump in the price. And what they're saying is that, you know, this whole case is very likely to go their way because the SEC, you know, they were trying to even micromanage or, you know, have even information like if you had only one Ripple that costs like 60 cents right now, they still wanted to have information on who you are, you know, what kind of transactions you've done and all that. So that plus other elements is what has made this case for Ripple at least one case that, even though it has taken a while, right now it looks like they're definitely going to come out of it victorious per se. So definitely very, very interesting here as well with what's happening with XRP and what's happening with Ripple, of course. And here I wanted to, before we go, show you this correlation graphic between the traditional markets, you know, the Nasdaq futures and Bitcoin. And here you can see that we are basically following, you could almost say mimicking almost exactly what the traditional markets do with how Bitcoin is behaving. That we do have, of course, this, you know, the blue is the traditional markets, and then we do have these lines over here for Bitcoin, and that, you know, happens mostly for you know, what happens during the weekend. And I mean, the orange one is the traditional markets, not the blue. But anyway, just to let you know that so long as we don't sort of decouple from this correlation, then we can't really expect a big move in the price of Bitcoin. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. That's all that I prepared for you guys. Once again, I wish you a happy Easter. Have a great day. My name is Basti. Bye-bye.